Welcome to the FEPCAST, everybody. We're here to do some dinking, some dunking, some stripping, some cocaine doing, at least for what we're going to get into with the Righteous Gemstones. Well, I mean, we got to live vicariously.
I would say let's do this show more than every other week.
Through Danny McBride. I was like, whoa, Danny, you're getting me riled up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I fixed my audio visual problem I was having other shows by doing this on my PC now. I've done doing the show from my Mac. It's too annoying. I can't solve the problem. So that's the good news as I freeze. That's the good news.
I'd like to point out I've always done the show on a Mac and had no problems ever.
So is Rico.
And me too.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. I tried everything. I'm on forums about it. That and how to cure STDs with holistic remedies. Those are the forums I visit. Maybe that's why.
Where do I get a hooker downtown LA tent row and any tips on making my podcast work on a Mac? It's quite the recipe forum.
Exactly. It's simple. It's easy. All right. Well, shall we jump on in? I said I unfortunately have a tight time window here because we're going out to dinner with our friends tonight. But what do you want to do first? Do you want to get into Righteous Gemstones, considering the fact that we all frantically just finished watching that show, and then get into the rise and fall of Reggie Dinkins?
Sure. But did you notice a very common theme, a commonality between the stars of these shows and the shows?
Yes. What would that be?
The Righteous Gemstone is Danny McBride playing Danny McBride.
And who wrote and Danny McBride created the show, wrote and directed the first episode. So it's all Danny McBride.
Yeah.
And
that's why it's amazing.
Darnell Dinkins was Tracy Morgan as Tracy Jordan as Darnell Dinkins. So
100%.
I appreciate it. And I'm like, don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. That's what cracked me up about the Reggie Dinkins show too. Is it's like he's literally playing the doofus version of himself from 30 Rock in a new show. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah, Righteous Gemstones. Now, this is a show, honestly, I watched this first episode before and I liked it, but for whatever reason, I didn't keep watching the show. It just like fell off my radar. I moved on to other things. So I was reminded, oh yeah, I should watch this show. It is pretty entertaining and pretty funny. It starts off, it's got Danny McBride. It's got it's got John Goodman, and I apologize. I know this
dude
guy's
from
the Workaholics.
Yeah,
Workaholics, who I'm blanking.
His name is like Adam
Devine
or
Adam Devine or Adam Devine. That's right. Yeah.
Like
so
that.
all these guys are brilliant comedic actors, and they start off in China. They're these members, they run a mega church. They start off in China, opening scene, mass baptism in China. All these, they're dunking all these Chinese people. And of course, they're fighting in the pool because Danny McBride's yelling at Adam Devine for dunking people too hard. They're coming up with water in their nose. And then somebody turns on the waves in the giant wave pool. You find out that they're in.
As you would do a baptism in the wave pool in China.
Yeah. That whole thing is symbolic of how bad they are. And just, if God made waves to take out enemies in the Old Testaments, they were essentially being taken out by a wave in the first scene of the whole show.
They did not part the sea.
No. The sea tried to stop them from doing what they were doing. But that, I think, was also part of it.
But at the same time, if they had baptisms in wave pools, I bet more people would be up for getting baptized. Like, make it fun, make it interesting. Rather than
do you not see the record recruitment and rise in the Catholic Church, buddy? You not been following the news?
Oh, is this all because of wave pools?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone just happened to watch this show within the last year. Like, sign me up.
And boy holes.
Yep. Wave pools and boy holes. That's the name of all the camps now. So they're in China. They come home, and you finally get to see the Righteous Gemstones. They're greeted. They have a private plane. They're greeted by their sister, Judy, who is not invited on these because they're old-fashioned. The dad, Goodman, adores
the old-fashioned mega churches.
Yeah. Well,
and
the old-fashioned
pastors,
the misogynistic, patriarch nature of the boys get to do all the things, but the sister stays home and she's not happy about it.
That's right. That's how it works.
And you meet her putz fiance. Like,
that's on. BJ.
Is that his name?
BJ.
Yeah,
BJ.
I didn't even catch that.
There's a excellent joke that she has about him, but it'll be later in the episode as we describe it.
Well, glad you brought it up now, and
it's called foreshadowing. In case you were thinking about clicking off this podcast,
way to keep the people invested.
We're gonna
get home. They get home, and there's a great scene. You see them all driving in their individual SUVs. They ditch the sister at the airport. And they all get in their individual white matching SUVs to drive to their massive estate where they've got armed guards training. It's like the opening of a James Bond supervillain film, right? Mm-hmm. They're on the mega complex. They each have their own house on the grounds. They've got armed guards shooting targets. They've got security and gates and a theme park inside of their property. And they each go home to their individual houses. The dad goes home. His wife's dead. You find that out. So there's nobody there to meet him except the wait staff or his, housing staff. The second brother, Danny McBride, goes home to his wife and his kids. And the third brother goes home to his house, which is just a party den. And his formerly Satanist best friend is just there, who's a total doofus, has fried his brain with satanic drugs and has a mullet. He looks like Theo Von, but not Theo Von.
Yeah, and he's an ex-Satanist, and they have a weird relationship.
Guy. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely giving off, are they gay vibes? Heavily.
Well, and that came back later.
Gay? I don't know.
Yeah, because Jesse, Danny McBride's character, goes, "Why don't you go make out with your weird Satanist boyfriend?" So there might be something there. And speaking of gays. There was a funny scene where Danny McBride is going and kissing his children. Yeah, he's going around to kiss his children goodnight after this long trip to China. And he goes to kiss his older son on the forehead. The kid wakes up and he goes, "Faggot?" Which, call your dad faggot for kissing you on the forehead.
Yeah. No, it's hilarious. That's why McBride approved it for that scene, because he knows how funny it is.
Yeah. And we do find out that their older kid, they had 3 kids, and we find out later that their oldest kid, Gideon, has run away.
Right. He's like
Did you notice the name of the kid who called him a faggot?
Yeah, this is
Pontius, right?
Like, what a weird name no wonder Christian family to give
Pontius Pilate.
We're in the Easter season, so
yeah. This is the perfect show to do before Easter.
This is a very Easter show.
We really first time, and we didn't even try, but it's finally lined up.
Yep. Well, Easter.
Other than that shitty Christmas episode.
Oh yeah, hey, that was a great episode. The Ewok Christmas. So Danny McBride kisses his kid. He's bitching to his wife, brushing his teeth, and then he gets a text message saying, "Hey, anybody home?" And something else. "Hey, why are you ignoring me?" And he responds, "Wrong number, bucko." And then he gets sent a video.
Now, can you text like *667 and block your number?
I mean, it definitely it came through as anonymous. I don't know if you can block a number now. Maybe you can. It just come up.
I do all the time when I call people because I don't want them calling me back.
Oh, well,
you can block numbers.
Yeah, I know you can do it on a call, but I don't know if you can do it like on a text.
On a text.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you block a number, they're not sending a text, a call. Anything.
No. But when you send a text, can you make it anonymous sending a text?
Let's
is the question.
do it a little experiment.
Yeah. I'm sure there's an app or some software that you can upload to your phone that'll cloak it.
That's true.
Yeah, because I would figure when I get random texts, they still show the phone number.
Yeah.
You know. But this video,
But somebody could have their phone set to not show numbers that are unknown.
Yeah, but that doesn't help the person sending it.
Yeah, this doesn't really help the plot of the show too much.
Yeah,
if we get
okay, moving on
down into this.
Yeah,
I was just curious.
We're drilling it.
Like, wait a minute. How did you send a?
I forgot what we were talking about.
So we get the video.
Hire an FBI guy to track this guy down and kill him.
But he's ashamed of the video.
Well,
that's why.
They have private. So let's tell the people what the video is, and then we could go into why. I agree. It was a little weird. They have private security on site shooting targets as they're rolling in. But so the video is Danny McBride leaning in, going, "Oh, I'm in love. I'm having a wonderful time. This is great." At first, you see him lean down and do a giant line of Coke off the table. And there's a ton of Coke on the table. And it's a hidden camera behind some bottles and behind the cocaine table they're on. And then you see a hot blonde chick with her tits out. And you're like, okay. But then it gets worse because then there's just a bunch of dudes with their like wearing dress shirts with their dicks out right next to his head. So,
by the way, who did they cast for really small dick fat guy? Because
clearly,
that's
could
like a rough role to try out for.
Did they show his face?
Well, I guess I don't know, but they showed the guy who it was supposed to be. Like on the video, it was a fat guy with a micro penis, and then
he was doing a lot of cocaine, though. In his defense, he was doing a lot of cocaine.
That's true.
Not that we know this happens, but I've heard.
Really, we were in the pool,
but not in real life.
Did an 8-ball,
and your dick gets real small. And I don't know. I've heard this rumor. So
if Rico was a fat guy and he was an actor
soon,
and they said, "Hey, we'll pay you a little bit extra if you show your wiener," what would you say?
I'd say sure, but I have a better dick than that guy.
Yeah. That's why. That's why the guy's like, "Whatever, all right, sure, it's small."
I'm not getting anything anyways.
They don't pay by the
fetish.
pound.
Yeah, true. There's a fetish for everything. There's got to be a fat, flumpy, small dick fetish out there, and there's going to be some 10 out of 10 bombshell that's watched this. It was just like, oh my God, I have to go to the shower right now and use the wand. But they may never cross paths, and that's the sad thing about this life.
If you're that woman, please write into our show so we can interview you more.
We'll meet up with you in about 5 years. We'll get a little fatter, my dick will get a little smaller.
Your bathroom.
Yeah. So you see this video of McBride blowing lines, bat naked guys, titty chicks, and of course he's supposed to be a righteous gemstone, and he's being very unrighteous. He gets panicked, runs out, goes to meet these guys in a lot in the middle of nowhere, some shopping mart lot. And it's a guy in a devil mask and his friend. They are going to blackmail him for $1 million.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So what did you guys think of that setup? As you mentioned, it seems a little odd he wouldn't notify his on-site security team, but what do you think?
Yeah, well, he is obviously scared, shaken up. He does tell somebody about it. He brings in his brother and sister because he
eventually
after trying to get it. That was a funny scene when he was trying to get it from their like an African minister who runs their finances. I got it's it reminded me of Nacho Libre. He's like, I've had a lot of churchy opportunities lately. He's like, I have a churchy opportunity and I need $1 million, but it's got to be a surprise. And the guy just laughs in his face. Mm-hmm. And he's like, God told me to get $1 million. He's just like, ha, ha, ha. That's pretty funny. Pretty good.
If God wanted you to have $1 million, you would have $1 million.
Yeah. So he told the brother eventually, and then the sister at the very end of the episode, when basically the whole plot was crashing down. But he thought it was this like competing minister who's not really even a competitor for their super church because his dad, Father Gemstone.
Hold on, wait. Well, I was just say he holds it. We have to set the stage for when he reveals who he thinks it is, because that was also it kind of threw me. So he invites all these people over to the theater of his house, and then shows the video of him doing blow with the dicks right next to his head to like 5 of his friends on the big screen theater in his house.
You gotta show the people what's up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
so you gotta know
on the biggest screen possible.
Yeah. It still didn't help the
It's only TV. What do you want him to do? He
doesn't have the dick was still so tiny.
Yeah, it didn't help him.
He could have easily just shown him on his phone.
That's what I would have done. Well, like, only if your wife walks into the room when you're blasting this on the theater. He
told her, don't come down to the theater room.
Well, and she is very respectful. There's a funny scene later where they get lambasted by the BJ, the nose job having boyfriend of the sister. He's like, you're very regressive. You don't even, have women involved. They can't speak. And then Jesse, McBride's wife, starts to talk, and then she stops. She goes, honey, can I talk? And he goes, you can talk. So yeah, maybe she wouldn't have busted in on him.
Yeah. You know what? At first I like when you first meet her, she's like, just like this normal wife. And then I'm like, when she was talking about how she's such a good person, then I kind of hated her. She's like, I'm just such a good person and I don't expect anything in return. And so I was like, well, you have this amazing mansion. She's like, this old thing. And she's like, you fly on private jets. It's like, well, that's the churches. It's like, oh, fuck this bitch. I don't care that her.
Yeah.
Good for Danny McBride.
Yeah. And then she ripped into the friend that asked or that pointed out the facts of like, maybe you should have a more godlike tone or something like that to tell her to like shut the fuck up. So moving on. So yeah, they blamed the wrong guy. Danny McBride gets in his head. There's these pastors that come, and the Righteous Gemstones are going to buy a mega church or open, I guess, a mega church in a town called Locust Grove, which has a big churchy community, has 3 other churches that have like 1,000 people each. So they're going to swoop in and try to steal those people. The pastors in that local area come and are like, hey, don't steal our people. And Danny McBride gets it in his head that the guy that led the charge, Dylan Mulroney, is that his name? Yeah. The guy that's in, speaking of Righteous Gemstones, and he was also in The Family Stone. Look at that. He's only in things with Stone in the name.
Ooh. Wow. What a stone.
Is he mad about the transgender Bud Light salesman who has like a similar name? Dylan.
Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah.
Probably.
You probably get confused all the time. Like he's out and about. He's like, I haven't seen you in a movie. Oh, that's probably because you're like a woman now.
You're a trans woman now.
Advertising Bud Light. He's like, that's not me.
How many times do I have to say it? I still have a dick bigger than that fat guy's dick.
Yeah.
So they blame Dylan Mulroney. Dylan Mulroney.
A Dylan. One
of the Dylans. But not Bob Dylan and not Dylan from 90210.
Oh, rest in peace.
Who is dead. Yeah, dead.
His son is a professional wrestler.
I did not.
Really? I had no idea. I didn't even know he had a son.
He does. And his name in the wrestling ring is Jungle Boy.
Wow. Is that an actual song? Like a really bad 80s or 90s song called Jungle Boy? Jungle Boy. Ooh, whoa, ew. Anyway. So
I know what song you're thinking of. I don't know the name of the song. It could easily be Jungle Boy.
Pretty sure it's called Jungle Boy.
I think it was Jungle Life. Actually, now I really want to hear that song.
Well, don't play it because our meager viewership will get reduced when YouTube bans us from using it. All right, so they go after him. Long story short, he motivates his friends. He goes, we got to go take this guy out, and they're going to go intimidate Dylan Mulroney, the pastor, by going to his house with their he bought him a bunch of little keychains that are like used I don't know. They're like mini batons, and he's convinced himself that you
got him at the gas station or something, where you would find all your weapons.
Obviously, Bucky's, and you pop people's joints out and clack them on the head or something with them. So they go. Of course, they're met with a guy who has a rifle, and he just shoots two of them immediately because they're on his property trying to sneak up on him in the garage. So he shoots two of them. They run away. And then finally, the brother calls Danny McBride or vice versa. And the sister comes and saves the day. So who would like to educate them about the sister?
Well, she somehow knew how to get into the church and steal $1 million where the dad is hiding, or just
no. She was hiding it. No, she was hiding it.
She was. I was finishing my dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
How did she have $1 million? She was like skimming it.
No. Yeah, that's exactly right. So what happened was she had this line. They go in and it's hidden in like the children's school area or the daycare area amongst all the playing stuff. She has hidden $1 million that she's skimmed over the years because they've been neglecting her. Right? They never take her on things. She doesn't have a house, like a giant house.
Yeah, she's skimming $1 million.
Well, because
they're taking a lot of money.
When they're doing the tithing, and they showed this was the foreshadowing. They showed all the money being donated when they're passing around the bowl in the church, the plate. So she was clearly skimming from that. And I guess the mom was always like, Judy, you're the smart one. You got to, you deserve it. And she's like, so I do deserve it. And I figured out a way to make the money. So she's been stealing, but because they're family, because she is a gemstone, she will give back the money she has stolen so that Danny McBride can pay off his blackmailer for his coke-fueled, tiny-dicked, big-titted blonde lady night.
And it's a very convenient situation for the plot. He just goes, how would this be easily resolved? Oh, the girl was stealing.
Yeah. But it was entertaining. I mean,
yeah, it was. It just worked out, though. It's like, okay, great. So they have money. They could have even said, "Oh, we have fake money," right? Just
it didn't even matter. They didn't even need money, as it turned out.
Right. That's the funny part, right? They didn't even need it because they go to meet the guys, and then Danny McBride he puts the money down. The guy comes out to get it, and then he goes, "All right, here's a thumb drive." And this is the thing. It's a video he sent them. How would you ever make sure that they don't have more copies? And he goes, "Oh, we're just going to melt."
They clearly have another copy because he texted the video on his phone.
Right.
So it's on the phone. So right there.
Exactly.
It's already a hole in this plan.
Yeah. So
I thought you were going to give me a VHS.
Right, yeah.
McBride said that was the only evidence was an old school tape.
Yeah. So McBride then, there's where the keychains come in. He loses his mind and like pokes the guy after he's like, "We're gonna milk you guys forever." He takes his keychain and he like jams the guy in the throat, and then the other brother like bonks him. They knock him down. They run. They're getting shot at from the van. Now, what I missed was, did they kill the guy in the van?
No.
The guy in the van.
They ran one guy down, but how did they didn't kill the guy?
So they ran the guy down. Like the sister was panicking and driving, and she ran him over. And then
which is funny because she's driving and he's running away, and she's driving in reverse, going, "Oh no!" And they're like, "What are you doing?" And she just runs him over.
Well, she ran him. No, they switched after she ran him over. I think it was kind of hard to pay attention, but I thought they said, should we go back and help him? And they like reversed. And then they drove over him again by accident. And then they was like, let's get away. And then they drove over him a third time.
What happened? Judy drove over him in, I think, forward or reverse.
Reverse.
And then she's freaking out. And then McBride goes, "Okay, let's switch over under," and then he takes over the wheel, and then he proceeds to drive over the guy twice.
Okay,
yeah, because then he runs over him, and then runs over him back because he got up again after she runs over him, because she doesn't do it on purpose, right? So it's just like one of those hits, and the pedestrian gets up, but then McBride goes, "Let me get the wheel." and then he goes back over them twice.
Okay.
and then he doesn't move afterwards.
Okay.
And that's why it's really funny.
But it seemed like they drove, like the episode ended with them driving away, but the guy in the van, one of the guys still lived who would have access to the video, right?
Well, there's a guy in the van. Yeah, and he was shooting at the
at the car.
At the car. But I guess so from McBride's point of view, he thinks, okay, we killed the guy, we got the video, USB disc, and that'll be the end of it.
Well, I can guarantee. Well, I don't know. I can't guarantee it. I will continue to watch the show. Presumably, it has to come back around. You don't just leave that guy alive. It's too big of a plot hole, and to not have it come back later.
Right. Well, I mean, you just guys gonna have to watch and find out, because I don't remember what happens, even though I watched it.
Have you watched this like the whole season? There's 4 seasons, so I'm assuming Danny McBride finds his way out of this jam and gets into other jams in the future.
I hope Walton Goggins has to come in and fix it. I was sad there was no
like,
Goggins.
Where is he?
I know.
Goggins is a great character. He's the brother of the dead wife.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he does come into the show.
And he's just mad all the time because they have all the wealth. And
Walter Goggins also plays Walter Goggins.
Yeah, he does all the time.
That's a good point. Right? He's like the Rock. How the Rock is always the Rock.
Yeah.
Because what are you gonna do with the giant fucking guy who looks like the Rock? Can you play like?
Well, he can get AIDS like whatever that other wrestler is that like got so skinny. The guy who was in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Oh,
Bautista.
Oh, that one. Oh, I thought you were gonna say the son of Luke Perry.
No.
Luke Perry taking a lot of shots.
You're saying
I like Luke Perry, and his son is a good wrestler. It's a very sad thing when he passed away.
It was.
Even though he was like 40 when he was on 90210. So
yeah. So it's he and Luke Perry was, and also what's the other guy's name was too?
Steve Sanders, Ian Ziering.
Ian Ziering also ancient. Ian Ziering.
Steve Sanders, a member of the Keg House at whatever school they went to. That was the name of the fraternity. I love it.
KEG.
Curly-haired blonde.
All right, what do you give it? Let's grade it so we can move on to Reggie Dinkins.
I give it a B. I enjoyed it. It was a little too long. There was some things that could have been streamlined a little bit better, but all the characters were good. And I didn't love it, but I am interested in watching more episodes. I don't know if I will, because I never do, but maybe I will. We'll see.
Well, I give it an A because it's hilarious, and you don't have that many hilarious things, and they don't care about making fun of everybody, saying words, bad words, curse words, using.
Whenever you drop a faggot in a show, okay,
there you go.
This show has potential,
It's got McBride, right? I like him. I like that Adam guy, and I've also there's an old show, and I've watched all of them already, so I liked it.
That doesn't say much, though.
True.
Well, I mean, that's right. I've lived on this
Donnie did continue to watch.
I watch
DTF.
a lot of stuff. Yeah, I did.
How many episodes are you on?
I think I've watched 3. I think I'm due for 1 or 2.
I watched another 10 minutes of the second episode. And I don't care.
It turns into kind of like a murder mystery thing.
That's right.
Because it starts as like a sexy show, and then it goes into like a whodunit murder thing.
I think I'll just watch the last episode because they'll do that previously.
I like it.
Catch me up in 5 minutes, and then I can watch the end.
Hey Rico, do you want to start a podcast, just me and you, called The Last Episode?
I do.
Okay.
I've been waiting for you to ask me that my entire life.
Right on.
By the way, I will say this. I texted, speaking of second episodes in the first few minutes. So we did a review of The Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And the first episode, we all thought wasn't good. It wasn't great. And I still stand by it. It wasn't good. But the show does get a lot better. However, we were joking that every HBO show now has to have like a male dick or ass right in the front. And sure as shit.
Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous Gemstones. Bingo. Right there.
This is
right
an
there.
old show.
Male dick. First 10 minutes. Here's your dick. Night of the Seven Kingdoms, episode 2. Old man walks out and just starts taking a piss with a giant uncircumcised cock for no reason whatsoever.
He's like,
no reason.
The actor probably like, you know what we need? We need my dick, my horse dick, just front and center.
That was 100% prosthetic, I guarantee you, or visual effect.
What?
Well, we need to have that old man. We need to merge the genes between the tiny dick fat guy in Gemstones and the skinny old man with a giant hog into one perfect man.
What does a fat guy bring to the table?
Well, I'm just saying that the old man's dick is like a little bit too schlongy and weird. So that you take that down a notch, you put them together like Fly and Jeff Goldberg. And
can we run a poll?
Jeff Goldblum, I mean, not Goldberg.
Run a poll, take a screenshot of the old man and the horse dick and the fat guy and the needle dick and see what the ladies prefer.
I bet they'd be like, how do they not choose? They chose suicide, the women.
Well, depending on the results,
like, oh my
I might have to depending on the results of the poll, I might have to start going and taking sneaky shots around my gym locker room where some old guy I got to like dry my hands and wash them. Some old guy's just standing at the sink texting, completely fucking naked.
I could spend an entire show on the etiquette of old guys in gym bathrooms. Why?
Pants on.
Like,
if you're just gonna text at the sink, go put pants on.
Shaving at the sink completely naked. Do you shave at home completely naked? No. Why are you doing this at the gym? It's fucking insane.
No.
If you drop that razor and it slices your ween on the way down,
and their balls are like this long because they're like ears. They just keep growing as you get older.
Well, and if you're sitting around shaving and dancing and texting naked, there's nothing supporting those bad boys.
We gotta go in on a company for old balls. It's like the old ball chain. Well, yeah,
do we sell and chain?
You know, they have boob lifts. So we can do a ball lift, get your sack closer to your body again.
The ball's here. Like they have those though. It's called underpants.
Yeah, it could just be like a nice
when you're intimate
frame that just cradles the junk.
I think I have a better idea. Like the movie Dirty Work, where they hire people to just do dirty pranks to get back at people. You could hire us if there's old men who just stand around naked all the time at your gym. You hire us to just come in, get a one-day membership, and just walk around flicking all those old men right in their dangly testicles to teach them a lesson.
That's what you want to do.
$25, $25 for
rubber
20
bands,
minutes work.
You couldn't get
like the old rubber band guns.
Yeah.
All the patrons of the gym don't go the same day. You'd have to camp out for a week. You have to
That's $25
balls.
a day.
Well, I can tell you, as a person who goes to the gym during the day, that's prime old man time.
Balls not flicked.
You know, you want to see some old dongs in the locker room. Get there before noon because they get there early. They'll have their paper. They like to ride the exercise bike very slowly, probably burn at least 20 calories in over a 20-minute period.
Yep.
The doctor says I got to keep my legs moved.
Yeah.
You're exactly right, Rico. 10 to 12 is the time. Because if I go at like 11:40, there's 85 old people that can't figure out how to get out of the gym parking lot, blocking my way.
Why don't you guys just have your own? You have a bike at your house, Brian. Why don't you just bicycle and that could be your gym?
Because I like to do other things too. And I'm not a righteous gemstone that has all of the tools and techniques at my disposal. Moving on.
All right.
The rise and fall of Reggie Dinkins, the new-ish, I think it's like a couple episodes old, Tracy Morgan-led vehicle that NBC for some unknown reason, decided to greenlight.
And is it on?
I think I'm going to have a different take on this.
You might, because I didn't like it. I thought it was pretty shit. And I love Tracy Jordan.
I liked it. It was just exactly what I expected it to be.
I
was not surprised at all.
Yeah, it was better than I thought. I thought it would just suck, but I thought it was somewhat. They twisted around like the Office documentary type, where it's they're following him around, but Tracy Morgan is basically like doesn't realize what a documentary is. So he's everyone's play acting like how great he is. He's like, "Hi, son, nice to see you," and you're the best. So I thought
I did like books. They're movies for your brain.
So I thought that was somewhat of a unique take on the documentary concept that we see a lot. Also, there was just like funny jokes in it. The plot wasn't great.
Didn't think there were that many funny jokes in it. That was my problem. It's like I just thought it was bland. I was like, it had some like okay.
There were
it wasn't terrible. It wasn't good. It was just like blandly bad to me.
When his wife says she's naming like famous people, and she says LeBron, and he goes, "Do you know how many people named LeBron I know?" That was good.
So at the start, I laughed when he's talking about his upbringing, and he's like, "We lived way too close to JFK," and then they show a picture of him.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Like the plane is coming into land, and it's almost hitting their head, the wheels. I thought that was funny.
You could tell when something is produced by the Saturday Night Live crew, and that's I think what you get. Those quick snap jokes.
Yeah. They had maybe. Harry Potter was the director. It took me a minute to figure out who he was.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe. See, I thought he was sucky too.
How do you not know right away?
Well, I've never watched Harry Potter, so I thought it was.
What? They're great.
I thought it was.
You're missing out, buddy.
I thought it was Frodo Baggins for a minute, that guy, but then I'm like, that's not.
I'm sure that happened.
So I thought he was the director trying to resurrect his career because he crashed out trying to direct a like Avengers type movie. I thought that scene was very funny where he starts flipping out about the tennis ball.
Dunk! I can't believe I thought it was just not funny at all. He's like, that's a moon and that's not a moon. Oh, now it's a tennis. And I thought the whole thing was fucking stupid. I didn't think it was
falls
funny.
off the stage. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was
also
good.
Not funny. Also not funny.
2 out of 3 thought it was funny. I don't know.
I mean, they're just establishing the character having a breakdown. I mean, what do you want it to do, Brian?
It could have been so much better.
Tracy Jordan says, like, I studied Latin because Latin comes up at some point.
Yeah, he was speaking.
That was hilarious.
He's like, I studied Latin in college because I wanted to get some Latin chicks.
Yeah,
no, that was funny.
He goes, I studied Latin because I thought it'd help me get Dominican chicks.
Yeah.
And then he goes, turns out a lot of languages came from it.
Yeah. All right, so wait, the basic plot here. The basic plot is that Tracy Morgan was a formerly fantastic football player who got caught. Well, first, I guess he dropped had some dropped touchdown, but he got caught gambling. He got Pete Rosed. So he was gambling on himself being good.
Pete Rose of the NFL.
Yeah, Pete Rose of the NFL and banned from the sport. But he's managed to hold on to his money because his wife/agent or ex-wife/agent is a very good manager. He invested well. He bought a minor league soccer team. And that was the one thing I wrote down that I thought was a funny joke. Was they
mentioned that guy Rob the Hootie Who?
Rob McElhaney, but no. They talked about David Beckham at one point, and they're like, "Oh, remember David Beckham where he finally admitted he had all those stupid haircuts?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, when he had cornrows when he met Nelson Mandela," and that was funny. Funny photo.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good funny times. I think the show for a new show, it's more funny than newer shows that we've watched. I will say that, and.
It's better than the Dennis Leary show, but
and they give you what you want, if you will. Like it's when you go to see a concert and you just go play the hits, and they're like, yeah, cool. And so you're getting Tracy Morgan doing exactly what you want him to do. And then they've like, bring in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Because we just want to bring him in for fun. Maybe we'll get a different angle, people to watch.
Well,
we'll see. I mean,
like
maybe it could be successful. I don't know how far they go with it, though. Like filming a documentary. Can't do that for... I guess The Office did it for fucking 10 years. So I don't know, man.
The thing too is I'm just kind of sick of the format. You know, like when we watched the paper, which is just a bad ripoff of The Office or an extension of The Office, it was terrible. You know, it's
and
the
there's
same
been
thing.
so many shows that have kind of adopted that style.
That's why I was saying it's a little bit different in that Tracy Jordan doesn't really get what a documentary is, so he's trying to play himself up as you know, like this A+ character.
And this one does kind of show both sides, because when they had Ratcliffe in the scene, you weren't getting it from the documentary side because it was just like regular old school sitcom, because he's talking to them as a person, not as a director. So, but if it could be good, I hope it could, because we need good shows. Keeps us in business.
Who was the Asian guy that was like interviewing his ex-wife to possibly be an agent? Because I know I've seen that guy on like stand-up.
Oh yeah, he's in Megan. He's the CEO in that movie. I think he's also in.
But he's a stand-up.
Yeah, he's also been in like. I think he was on the Daily Show as like a stand-in. Like he would do a bit on the Daily Show, and then he's on some other show where they have.
I mean, he's not going to be like a recurring character or anything. I was just trying to remember who he was.
Yeah.
Brian can look it up on his PC.
On my PC. Well, and so anyways, the documentary is to revitalize the image of Reggie Dinkins.
But you didn't even talk about like how he got caught gambling.
Well, we keep getting off on tangents, man. Tell the people I got caught gambling, which I also didn't think was that funny.
He did a
I thought that was hilarious.
He did a Sports Center hit. And after he won the Super Bowl and he thought he was calling his bookie and he telling the bookie, this is what you owe me. I mean, you wouldn't actually call a bookie and do that. So that was a little awkward, but you know, it's a Tracy Morgan thing to like get caught gambling by calling ESPN and mistakenly. So,
right.
Yeah.
It's just, they kept here's the problem. They kept telling people and repeating the joke. Like, let's make sure they get it. So like at the end of the call with Sports Center, he's like, you know, they're like, oh, well, remember this? They flashed to him on Sports Center talking to his bookie. And then at the end of it, he's like, okay, now where did I put that number to call into Sports Center? It's like,
yeah,
we just saw what happened. Why the fuck are you repeating it? And they did that like 4 times during the episode, which really pissed me off. But like I wrote a note down about it. Unnecessary repetition. Like they kept repeating it and like explaining the jokes of like, what the fuck are these people doing?
Well, you have 21 minutes you got to fill up. So you got to, go back and fill time.
Got to
not that much jokes. We're not that much new. Tracy Morgan is like an A+ like ancillary character where the show doesn't have to revolve around him. I mean, maybe it can. I don't know. Maybe there's just not enough to work with here. But like his role on 30 Rock is so perfect because he just comes in, he steals like 5 scenes of the show, and then he's out.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they could do that with this show, that would work well.
Yeah, it would be hard because he's the center point of the show. It would be hard to just that character. And it's the exact same character like we're talking about. It's the exact same character as Tracy Jordan on 30 Rock to a T.
This show's gonna suck because the main storyline of this first episode was him and his ex-wife's relationship and them arguing a lot, and then her being right, and then him being right, and all this nonsense. And then at the end of it, they end up the same place they were at the beginning of the show. And then they bring in, and Ratcliffe is also still in the fold because they kicked him out and then brought him back because they realized he's the only one that could empathize with Tracy Jordan because he also had a fall from grace. Yeah. And so that's it. The show's done. There's nothing else they can do. It's not going to make anybody care about it.
Well, we didn't talk about his son. His son actually might be had some of the funnier lines in the show, but his son's there. And then he's also got his new girlfriend who's like a hot little, piece of ass, black chick. And she's fine as an actress in the show, but they have her being real nice, like getting along with the ex-wife. And at the end, she's like, Tracy, you have to make up with your ex-wife because I can't call the doctor. So I'm like, okay, so you have this character, like that could be a funny interaction if you had her be like a bitch and like had them fight.
That's been done 100 times, hasn't it? Like the
has,
new wife.
But she's just in the show as what?
The show is cooked.
The new wife.
There's nothing there. They've used it all.
Like what? Like, did you find anything that she said interesting?
I thought the scene where she came in and she was like, "He's my man now. You got to get out." Like she did the old attitude thing, and the ex-wife was just like, "I know you're fucking putting on a show." I thought that was amusing.
Yeah, but that was it. How many times can you do that? And then she says, and then of course she says to the camera, "I was just doing that to get on camera." Like we know.
Well, we
know?
I mean, are we judging by where you think the show could go? Or just like, did it entertain you in the first episode? Because shows could have promise, but we're not grading on, what the arc of the show could be.
I was excited for it to end.
I think it was.
It's over. You watched your 21 minutes and you never have to watch again.
That's what I feel like.
There you go.
I don't know what else the show could do.
See, what if this was like Below Deck where you had to watch this every week?
Oh, that'd be terrible. Remember we used to do that? That was awful. What a dark time.
The world died.
We had a much larger audience, though, when we watched those terrible shows every week. We had a much larger audience. People really liked listening. Now they hate listening.
Don't take it out on our audience. Audience, we love you. Don't.
We also bonged a beer at the end of it was COVID. We didn't have anything to do.
Yeah, that's true. It was COVID. Yeah, we bong our Bravo and beer. We bong our beer. The Bravo beer bong. I'm telling you, we could have retired off that show if you guys hadn't refused to watch any more Bravo shows.
Okay, so the next time there's either COVID or nuclear war, but the internet still works.
Okay, we'll bring it back.
We'll go back to it.
We'll get Skylink.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
I hope nobody grades this show.
A++.
Actually,
everybody tries. Oh God.
I keep seeing these clips on Instagram about some Canadian show where the guy's like the lazy teacher, and the clips are hilarious. I gotta send them to you because this might be a show to watch. But all
right.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about the Canadian clips. Like Sandy found this guy. He's like a Canadian guy that came to America and he just drives around drinking and shooting guns. And he's like, America's the best. It's hilarious. What? He buys beat up pieces of shit cars and then he just drives them across America, stopping and getting drunk, shooting guns. It's great. Wow. He's just a long, stringy-haired, skinny guy. It's like a nut. He's like an autistic nut. He's great.
Should we just review YouTube videos?
Bam. We're no Daniel Tosh's. Tosh-I. All right. What are we giving to Reggie Dinkins? You guys, I'll go first since I'm apparently the unpopular opinion. I give it a C-. Like I said, it was blandly bad to me. I didn't think there was many funny lines. I didn't think it was very original or clever. I was bored most of the time. So
I give it a C+. I thought there was more funny lines. And actually my favorite joke was, I think, the fat guy that lives in his basement. He was talking about his ex-wife.
SNL, right? SNL guy?
I have no idea. He was talking about the ex-wife, and he's like, she represents a lot of famous people. She represents Gina Davis, but only for archery.
For archery, yeah. That was funny.
And I'm like, oh, yes. I completely forgot that Gina Davis was like trying to make the Olympics as an archer.
She was?
Yes, that's why that joke happened.
I didn't know that.
What a weird fucking insider joke.
It's a good poll.
Gina Davis lure.
Yeah, good Gina Davis trivia.
That alone is going to reduce my score. I was going to give it a C, but now it gets to C- because I think given the given the talent that they had with Tracy Morgan and Daniel Radcliffe and whoever that is from SNL, who did a great job. I mean, I think they should show more of that guy.
We didn't even talk about him. He has a best friend that's a kicker on his college team that lives in his basement, and he's some fat guy that was not good on SNL. That's good on this
Sands?
show. No, it's not Horatio Sands. That's what I was going to say too, but it's not Horatio Sands.
Is it? It's not Bobby Moynihan, is it?
It is Bobby Moynihan. That's exactly who it is.
Okay, it's Moynihan.
Actually, I love Bobby Moynihan. Yes, it's Bobby Moynihan. That's who it is.
All right, that's why I like. So more Moynihan makes sense now. Why it's the whole New York fucking SNL camp, but
there was no character on the show, so that should add some points.
That's nice on the dick meter. We got 0, so we like that. We like that on the dick meter.
No points off for dick.
So is this going to be the one rare show where Rico continues to watch the show?
He might. I mean, I give it.
I meant to watch. Actually, I meant to watch that Chad Powers show. So if I'm going to go back to a show that's about football and a comedy, I'll go back to Chad Powers.
I'll tell you what, Chad Powers is funny, and it's only 6 episodes. Yeah. So watch that.
I'm just too into podcasts, man.
I mean,
that's what I watch during the day when I'm working.
He's a company man. Folks.
Yeah, not ours. I can't even find ours. I don't think this really exists.
This does exist. We have listeners.
I never looked. So I
looked for it one day, and I couldn't find it on any platform. I'm like, are we?
What? You just type in FEPCAST.
I think Brian just does this, and somehow in a weird way, Brian isn't even alive anymore, and he's just a ghost.
Is he Netanyahu? Are you just AI?
Yeah.
Let me try to drink a coffee and see.
Brian hasn't done a press conference in 6 years, so we don't know. It could be not real.
Yeah,
that's how the world lives now. Everything is not real, and everything is real.
Goes to the machine.
That's what I was thinking about Righteous Gemstone. If that plot situation happened today, like, bitch, that's AI.
Yeah, exactly. I it's
like
going to get people out of a lot of shitty situations.
Yeah. Maybe
I was not doing that stripper. That is AI.
I would, you know how you fix it? I would take the video and give the fat guy a bigger dick and be like, look, see? Big dick.
Yeah.
Fake.
We'll get into more philosophical times where people have to question reality more and then how they react with it, because they might think everything that they're talking to is fake now.
It's all fake.
Yeah.
You guys are real.
That's what's going to be, I think, Brian, this is where you do the thing where you cut me off.
Well, no, because we have to see. I would gladly cut you off, but we haven't said we're going to watch the next episode.
Yeah, I'm like,
what are we going to watch next?
Glad to keep talking.
Because we need to figure out we're going to watch the next episode, which I said I want to watch News Radio for the old show. Is there a new show?
Old show, News Radio, great new show
that's coming out that we want to watch. I thought there was something.
Yeah, there was one advertised to me on the HBO app when I was watching.
There's something stupid with like Steve Carell, but it didn't look good.
You know what I saw? They're redoing the Harry Potter movie.
How long do you think she did? Hold on.
Rico, can you tell your kid to shut up, please?
No, that's not nice. Tell him, please shut up.
All right.
Fuck you, Brian. Throw your chops.
Hey!
Cut
You heard it.
Oh, shit.
So
nice.
Tell him next time I fly through Ohio, a beating.
Yeah.
All right. Well, whatever. We'll figure out. I don't know. Did you find a new show to watch? I thought there was something about. All right. Text me. Don, do you want to continue your talks about AI and dick replacement?
Row.com.
It was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that. Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!